Yes, team, and welcome back to the channel. So, another YouTube video today, following up from yesterday's video, essentially, because if you did watch the most recent YouTube video that I did post, it was the first day of depletion, essentially, on 2,500 calories on a rest day. Woke up this morning, I did drop body weight. I was 91 kilo on the money yesterday. Woke up this morning and I was 90.75, so dropped 0.25 kilo. I done my check-in this morning for Ben, so I've sent that over. I've sent my posing clips over to Case as well, so awaiting feedback from them today. But I know what the plan and the protocol is for today anyway, in terms of food. So that was all prepped and made yesterday, ready to go today. And what I'll do is I'll walk you through today's full day of eating as well. So if I tell you the calories for today, 2,800, protein is at 225, carbohydrates are at 368, and then dietary fats are at 48. So lower food. We've got push to do today as well. I'm going to get that done this morning. I find that my training sessions and the look is the best after meal one, my squares bars, and then train, rather than like 2 or 3 meals. I feel as if my stomach just slightly blows out that little bit more, especially with added fluid as well. So what I'll do is I'll probably in the video, what I'll do is I'll do like a recap of the session. Maybe not all the exercises, maybe like 3 to 4 of my top sets of the compounds. And then I'll go through post-workout posing as well. Instead of putting my check-in shots on the screen, I'll do my post-workout. Oh, ideal. I've just had my check-in back from Ben as well. I'll put my post-workout posing on the screen just so you can see how I'm looking. A little bit fuller. So this has come through at perfect timing, to be fair, from Ben. I'm gonna have my meal one, which is cream of rice. I'll show you guys that meal. I'm gonna watch my check-in response, and then I'll let you guys know the updates for this week. We'll see what it is, but I'll get meal one prepped, and then I'll show you the meal. But I'll tell you the meal now. I'll make it. I'll put a photo on the screen of what that meal is. So meal one is going to consist of 100 grams of cream of rice, 150 berries, 45 grams of whey, 20 grams of almond butter, and then we've got 10 grams of honey. And with this, 2 grams of pink salt. So what you'll notice if you have been watching like any of my full day of eatings is that the food, like the meals are the exact same. It's just the volume of food has come down. Like I know with one of these meals, we don't have any carbohydrates in. It's just protein and veg, which is going to be absolutely brutal. But calories for this meal, 733, 47 grams of protein, 100 gram of carb, 102 gram of carb, 16 grams of dietary fat. And I'll put the photo of the meal by here, which is absolutely unbelievable. Such a good meal. If Ben put this on my meal plan, 5 meals a day, cream of rice, fucking let's have it. I could easily do it. So I'm going to have this meal, and then I will let you guys know the updates from what Ben has said. Morning supplements as well going in with this meal. So I've got all my vitamins in there. How I'll simply have these is I'll just shot them on the head. I just find it's the easiest way to get my morning sups in. Creatine and electrolytes are in. I'll have them supplements, and then I'll go into my first meal then. Yes, so we have the updates back from Ben. So what we're going to do essentially this week is we got push today, pull tomorrow, and then legs on Thursday. But what we're going to do is we're going to trial the peak mock. Fucking hell, try the mock peak week. Prep brain in full swing. That light behind me is doing my head in as well. Let me move you over here. So we're going to trial the peak mock peak week this week. So essentially, I think there's only 2 more cardio sessions to do today and tomorrow, because when more food goes in, we won't be doing any cardio on high days. Food for the time being stays the same. Of course, I think we're going to maybe load from like Wednesday night and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, and then see how I'm looking on Saturday morning, as it will be a rest day on Friday and then push on the Saturday. So we're trying to replicate it essentially for the show day. So I will keep you posted. I'll get another YouTube video filmed in terms of like the mock peak week towards the back end of this week. So food stays the same, probably cardio 3 sessions this week. And then the only thing that has been slightly adjusted then is like from a PED standpoint, we'll be pulling GH on Saturday. So Friday night will be the last injection of that. And then Provide Run will just go up to 75 then on the Saturday. So I'm excited for it. It's just time to tighten up the look now. Midsection's feeling fairly tight this morning. And that's why I want to train nice and early, because my midsection's tight. I'm not blown out. So phase 1 check-ins already done. Sleep. We don't want to talk about sleep, but I was up at 1 o'clock in the morning, managed to drop back off, up at 3, come down and straight into work. So super productive morning yet again. We come after training, we've got to go Tesco, pick up a few bits, and then come back and we just have an afternoon, evening of work. New setup to do, check-ins, business as usual. So let's get a 10-minute walk in. My pre-workout is made. So pre-workout's made. Squares bars are at hand and ready to go. And I'll see you guys in the car on the way to the gym. So it is gym time. We are on the way to the gym currently to get a big push session done. So pre-workout, we are drinking it instead of dry scooping it. And the reason being is, I don't know whether it's just this pre-workout that I'm using now. I'm using VascuMax by Strom. But when I was dry scooping it just before going in the gym, it like sat heavy on my stomach. And just bloated me a bit, to be totally honest with you. So instead of dry scooping it, I'm just going to drink it. No Monster today. I am 3 coffees deep and it's not even 9 AM. So I'm just going to use the coffee for my caffeine, and just not drink Monster just for the sake of it. So pre-workout, scoop and a half of VascuMax, and then pre-workout, what we're going to eat is 3 Squares bars. And the Squares bars, the marshmallow ones. Yes, they're not as good as the triple chocolate, salted caramel, the good ones, but the marshmallow ones are lower in calories. And it makes a difference. So usually it is 4 squares, now it's 3. Devastated, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have these squares probably when I'm like 20 minutes away from the gym, and then we get our push day done, and then we get back. And I like training earlier, and the reason why I like training earlier is because I know when I go back I've got a good 4 meals to have. You know, rather than having like 2 or 3, I've got 4 meals to go back to, which you guys will see later on in the video. But for now, let's get the heating on in the van because I'm absolutely freezing, and then get some music on. I'm feeling a bit of 50 Cent, to be fair. I need to get myself in the zone. I want today's session to be a fucking good one, because that's the thing as well, guys. When you're dieting down and you're low on energy, you're fatigued, do not be rushing your training. Prioritize your training. Training is the foundation of what builds muscle and retains muscle. So when I'm in the gym, it's athlete mode. I'll have all WhatsApps are replied to at the minute. By the time I get to the gym, don't get me wrong, there'll be a lot more WhatsApps I need to reply to again. I'll reply to them when I'm in the gym then and I'm training. That is my time. An hour to myself where I can switch off, just the music, just the weights, and focus on having a good session. And then when I'm on the Stairmaster, I'll get back to all WhatsApps and then back into work mode, because it's just the Stairmaster. But when I'm training weights, I need to switch on. I need to go from coach mode to athlete mode. So let's get a bit of 50 Cent on, let's get psyched up, and let's go sink a big push day, not pull, let's go sink a big push day. Yes, team. So that is another session wrapped up in the bag. So push done. I did manage to get some training clips that I'll put on the screen as well. Didn't record the full session. I remembered one of the most recent YouTubes that I done. I took you through that exact session anyway. So I'll pop the videos of me training on the screen as I'm talking. But that session consisted of ab crunch, tricep extension, tricep overhead extension, dumbbell laterals, shoulder press, lying cable Y raise, pec deck, incline press, flat press, and then we finished off on the Stairmaster. And in all fairness, it was a good session. It was a good session. I felt a little bit fuller, even though food was lower yesterday on rest day food. I did feel a bit fuller, but I always feel better when I have a little bit less food in the morning, you know. And what I usually do when I wake up, I get a shit ton of water in, you know, and sometimes I'll train at like 9 o'clock with like 4 litres of fluid in my stomach. So I thought, you know what, today what I'm going to do is I'll have 2 to 3 litres. And I felt my midsection was a lot tighter. You know, felt my midsection was a lot tighter. It was easier to contract. I'll probably put a video of how I was looking post-workout as well. And I just felt a lot tighter and also a little bit fuller as well. So I'm happier with the visuals this week, but I need to go Tesco. I got a list on my phone, things I need to pick up, go back, nice warm shower, and then we get into a big block of work, setups, check-ins, and just another day getting after it, guys. Another day getting after it, one more day closer. Let's get back, let's shower, and let's get clean. So we're back from the gym. Tesco is done, so fridge is nice and full with everything that I need. I was going to have a shower, then have my post-workout meal, but I'm absolutely ravenous and I feel like I'm going hypo. So I'm going to get into my next meal, and I'll put a photo of the meal on the left-hand side here. What we have is 100 grams of Frosties and then 45 grams of whey. So 556 calories, 40 gram of protein, 89 gram of carb, and 3 gram of dietary fat. And what I also do with this meal is the whey I put with 200 ml of water. It's not a lot of water, and the whey just goes a little bit thicker, but allows me to take a little bit longer eating that meal, you know, and I want to savor the meal as much as I can. So a little bit less water. It doesn't get the Frosties as soggy. And Frosties is a great post-workout meal to have because it'll help replenish the glycogen stores that have depleted whilst training. So I've just replied to all WhatsApps, updated to-do list, and now we get into this meal. Yes, team. So we are back in the kitchen. And we're about to have our next meal. So showered, fresh, and a shed ton of work has been done before going into this meal. I felt very productive coming back from the gym. So just been behind the laptop, powering through some check-ins. Got a new setup to do after this meal. Get his onboarding video sent out, and then more check-ins. No calls tonight though, as of yet. Calls may get booked in, but as of the time being, there is no calls. So may have the evening off calls. But anyway, into the next meal. What you will see for this meal, right, is that it says beef mince and veg. Now, my next 3 meals is chicken, rice and veg, and then beef and veg with no rice. But I always have my beef mince meal at the end of the day. Now, the reason why I've changed my chicken and rice meal to a chicken and veg is because at the minute I would rather have a chicken and veg meal with no carbohydrates than have no carbohydrates as my final meal. So all I'm simply doing is I'm taking my rice out from this meal, from the chicken, rice and veg, and I'm just putting it on to the beef mince meal. So I'll put the calories and macros on the screen, but like I said, you will see that it says extra lean beef mince, 170 beef mince, 100 grams of veg. But what I've done is I've put 175 grams of chicken from my previous meal, or from one of my meals, should I say, with 100 grams of veg. And then my next meal will be chicken, rice and veg, and then beef, rice and veg. So I know I probably made that sound way too complicated, but essentially that is what I've done. So I'll put a photo of the meal on the screen as well. So 175 grams of chicken, 100 grams of veg, and then we've got 2 grams of pink salt in this meal with 10 grams of Tabasco hot sauce. So I'm going to have this, stick a podcast on, you know the drill if you've been watching the YouTubes. I have my meal, no phone, and then when the meal's done, wash the dishes, get straight back into work. So let's dig into this meal. A very filling protein and veg meal. Not going to be absolutely starving afterwards. But what I'm going to do is I haven't had a Monster today. And I'm limiting my diet drinks to 1 diet drink per day. So I didn't have a can of Monster. And I was thinking when I was driving back from the gym, do I have one? But then I thought, I'm not going to have one. I haven't had a Coke Zero in a while. So with this meal, I'm going to have a nice cold can of Coke Zero, which is going to be my treat. So that meal got absolutely devoured. Way too quick, as you can imagine. 175 grams of chicken and 100 grams of veg. But we've just jumped on the walking pad. Now, as you know, I always do a 10-minute walk after a meal just to help with digestion. But I'm currently on 10,600 steps. My step target is 10,000. But when I do cardio, I accumulate on average around 2,500 steps. And cardio is completely separate to your steps. So I have 10,000 daily steps to do on top of my cardio. So I'll just make sure at the end of the day, my step count is above 12,500, not just 10,000. So we've got just under 2,000 steps to do, which is 20 minutes. We'll get a 10-minute walk boxed off now. So we've got 10 minutes of walking to do after that, which will be a piece of piss. With me prepping food later, and also 2 more meals to have, we'll easily get that boxed off. So remember, cardio is cardio, steps are steps. They're 2 separate things. Don't track your steps in your total day, including your cardio. Good afternoon, Rai. Thank you for your check-in, buddy, and thank you for the overview of this week. Mate, visuals are an absolute joke. The progress that we've made in 11 weeks, mate, is nothing short of fucking superb. And not only are we noticing the benefit from a visual standpoint, but a mindset and physical standpoint here, we're noticing a big difference with, the mindset shift with being able to stay on track when you're in work, and also the physical shift where you're noticing how much stronger you are in work as well. And yes, Liam, thank you for your check-in, buddy, and thank you for the overview of this week. So first of all, mate, I just want to say how pleased and proud I am of how we have managed the weekend. We were away from Friday to Sunday. You controlled your calories, you made sure that protein was nice and high. You took your gym stuff with you so that we still managed to get a couple of sessions in and runs. And we've come back lighter in body weight. And that is a chunk of check-ins done again this afternoon. And the lads are absolutely flying. It's just so good to see how well the boys are doing on the plan. Like having the plan, executing the plan, as a byproduct, getting the result that we're after. But we're going to go into our next meal, and I'm looking forward to this one because obviously that last meal that I had contained 0 carbs, whereas this meal is 175 grams of raw weight chicken. We've got 50 grams of jasmine rice and 100 grams of veg. So I'll put the photo on the screen of what the meal is, or how the meal looks. 457 calorie, 48 gram of protein, 55 gram of carb, 5 gram of dietary fat. So that is in the microwave cooking up as we speak, or should I say heating up as we speak. And then as that is heating up, I've got my rice in the rice cooker because I'm prepping my food for tomorrow. Just so that when I wake up tomorrow I don't have food to prep, but I can feel myself flagging now. Jesus. I'm glad I haven't got any colds tonight, to be fair, because hopefully I can have a bit of downtime and just mentally recharge and reset. But we're going to have the next meal. Looking forward to it. As you guys know, it will not be had without the Tabasco Sriracha. And then we'll go for a walk. I say go for a walk. Out on that walking pad we have 1,500 steps to do, so a 15-minute walk, and then we'll get into the last meal. So we're flagging, but we get it done. Work's getting done, meals are getting hit. We don't miss, guys, we don't miss. Good evening, O's. How are we? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a very good start to your week so far. And welcome to the teammates. So this is going to be your onboarding video, right? Where I walk through everything that has been assigned for yourself. And if you have any questions, and that is the final Loom video done for the day. So all check-ins have been done and sent out. We actually got ahead of some of tomorrow's check-ins as well. So they've had same day feedback. And another lad, welcome to the team. So his onboarding video has just been sent over. And that's what I always do when I have a new client join the team, is we always have a initial call to start off with, you know, just to get to know each other, understand each other's goals, or me understand their goals and walk them through the process. But then I always deliver their programming within 48 hours. You know, so within 48 hours, you'll have your programming, but also you'll have your onboarding video where I walk through everything that has been assigned so that you're fully aware of the process, of how everything's laid out. And then any questions that you do have, you let me know. We make sure that the plan is perfect, and then we get cracking on. So looms are done. Looms are done. It is just going to be background work now for the rest of the evening. I'm going to start editing this YouTube video. There's a few things I need to do, like plan a post, get a post out on Instagram, all the fucking fun stuff, and get into my final meal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the YouTube video here because I want to just stop videoing today. Even though I'm not going to have my meal till 7 o'clock, I'm going to finish the YouTube video here, and I'm just going to put on I'm just going to talk you through what my next meal is going to be. Because, guys, seriously, I am 11 days out. I am absolutely battered. Absolutely battered. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm fatigued. I feel heavy. I've got 1,000 steps to do. Oh, it's carnage. It's carnage. So I need to get on top of things here. Not that I'm not on top of things, but I need to just get everything all done so I can have my final meal off WhatsApp, knowing that we're all up to date, and then get some good sleep in, hopefully. So my final meal, guys, is going to be 175 grams of chicken. This meal is going to be 170 grams of beef mince, but this is the meal that contains the rice. So 170 grams of beef mince, 50 grams of rice, and 100 grams of veggies. So I'm going to have this meal. I'll put a photo on the screen of this meal as well. So that will wrap up total calories for today being at 2,800, 225 protein, 368 carb, 48 grams of fat. Tomorrow is another training day, and then it is a rest day on Thursday. Rest day on Thursday. So the next video that I probably will film will probably be Thursday going into Friday as food starts to get increased. Because if I film tomorrow, it's going to be the exact same as today. And I want to give you a bit of an update in food for the carb load. So I will get the next YouTube video out more than likely Saturday afternoon. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I hope you appreciate the work that's going into the YouTube with everything else that I got to manage as well. So a subscribe or a like or a comment would honestly be greatly appreciated. And I will catch you guys in the next one.